Dilek, welcome to Tibettv's weekly analysis. The rise of China is now seen as major threat to the whole world with its implicit yet aggressive approach towards its regional neighboring countries. Communist China's strategic thinking towards Tibet and the Himalayas is a new piece written by Tsewang Dorji, a research fellow of Tibet Policy Institute, Central Tibetan Administration, which delved in depth about China's strategic perception towards Tibet and the Himalayas. Let me discuss with Tsewang Dorji, the author of the above said piece, published in Taiwan Times on 10th March. Welcome to Tibet TV, Tsewang Dorji. Tsewang, you began your piece with little background of 10th March 1959 uprising. It's been now 62 years. So tell our audience how brutally China cracked down the 10th March uprising then.
This year, Tibetans across the world observe 62nd anniversary to commemorate the 1959 Tibetan National Uprising Day. The Tibetan National Uprising Day in 1959 was a peaceful protest against China's occupation of Tibet. Subsequently, the Chinese military force brutally cracked down the Tibetan peaceful protester by using artilleries and machine guns. So, in fact, China controlled the Tibetan territory, but China failed to control the Tibetan spirit. But meanwhile, my focus is that my article focused on China's strategic thinking towards Tibet and Himalaya. So, in my article, I highlight how strategic importance of Tibet in Inter-China relation and China's occupation of Tibet and its strategic implication to India. And more importantly, I brought a resolution for resolving Inter-China conflict over Indo-Tibet border in the Himalaya. So these are, brief about the article which I written in Taiwan Times.
Okay, Tsewang, one of the interesting takeaways from your piece is that since the invasion of Tibet, the traditional buffer state between India and China was disappeared. So the question is, how has this disappearance caused India to deploy more soldiers at border and hold military expenditure?
Well, regarding this, before China's invasion of Tibet, so Tibet served the buffer state between India and China. After China's invasion of Tibet, first ever Indo-China military face-off took place in Indo-Tibet border in the Himalaya. So, and moreover, China forcefully changed Indo-Tibet border into Indo-China conflict in the Himalaya regions. So in this, the Chinese strategic thinking towards Himalaya and Tibet, it costs heavy price for India's national security and especially for the military expenditure. So this is the huge price for India. And with this, that while the China occupying Tibet, so at that time the Tibetan finance minister who met India's Prime Minister Pandit Nehru in Delhi in 1950, and Shagaba warned Nehru about the Chinese occupation of Tibet and its security implication to India. So here I quote what Shagaba told to Nehru. So this abstract I took from the Shagaba's the political the Shagaba's book, history book, the Tibetan political history, and part 2. And quote, we point out that Indian government presently had 75 soldiers protecting trademark in Tibet. Yet if India and China share a border, then many thousands of hundreds of thousands of soldiers could have to be called off to protect the border. Thus, even India would be severely oppressed. We ask him to give careful consideration to the importance of long-term outcome and not merely of the agreeable relation between Nehru's government and Mao's government in present. So this is what the Shagaba appealed to Nehru. So That time while China was occupying Tibet, that time there were only 75 Indian soldiers who served guide on the Indo-Tibet border, which stretched from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh. If you look at today, the India-China relation or Indo-Tibet border conflict in the Himalaya, especially like the 2020, after the China-India confrontation in Tsewang, so China deployed more than 50,000 soldiers across the Indo-Tibet border. At the same time, and India was likely to add another 35,000 soldiers to Indo-Tibet border to counter China's aggression. So this is like what the Shagaba want to Nehru at the time China's invasion of Tibet. So this foreseen is reality in today. So these things is like everybody knows what happening in the Himalaya, and moreover like if I go for the statistic calculation, the how India expand or goes because of China's invasion. So for the last 60 years since the Chinese invasion of Tibet, so because of China's invasion of Tibet, India goes $462 billion. So this is a huge price for India to pay for, because of China's invasion of Tibet. This is a huge price. If India could utilize this huge amount to poverty alleviation and other economic developments, so it would be great benefit for India. But this is all because the Chinese invasion of Tibet and its implication to India's security.
Okay, Tsewang, as you said that your article mainly deals about how China strategically thinks about Tibet and the Himalayas. So I'm asking a question on this part. So after the invasion of Tibet, how has China's perception towards Tibet and the Himalayas changed?
Like having said that, the Chinese occupation of Tibet and its security implication to India. So after China's occupation of Tibet, so China used Tibet as a strategic passage to expand China's expansionist policy to Himalaya and South Asia. So this is like right now it's happening. It's like because the Chinese military incursion in Ladakh, China's military incursion in Sikkim, and then China's military encroachment in Bhutan, China's military encroachment in Nepal. So this China's incursion and military encroachment in the form of China's strategic thinking. So it right now is happening across the Himalaya, and let me briefly explain about the China's strategic thinking towards Himalaya and Tibet since the early 20th century. So it was British who posed the strategic threat to China. While the British invaded Tibet in 1903, that time China was ruled by the Qing dynasty. So the Qing strategists perceived Tibet as a backdoor of China. If backdoor is open, so it's create strategic vulnerability to the mainland of China. Therefore, Qing strategists, so they design the strategic significance of Tibet. Since then they designed the strategic significance of Tibet for securing the Chinese territorial integrity, and also they started the Chinese expansionist policy. So subsequently the successor governments Republic of China and then People's Republic of China, they follow of what Qing strategies adopt the strategy to Tibet and Himalaya for securing the Chinese national security and expanding the Chinese expansionist policy. So, and especially under the leadership of the Mao Zedong, the CCP, and Mao Zedong who adopt this strategic the policy to occupy Tibet and then the Tibet neighboring countries. So the CCP strategies at the time, like 1950s, the CCP strategies and adopt the Tibet as the bomb, and then Ladakh, Bhutan, Nepal, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh as the five finger of the palm. So like this, the palm and five finger strategy is adopted by the CCP strategies to occupy Tibet, and then through Tibet they attempt to expand their expansionist policy. So like at the presently, the under the leadership of Xi Jinping updated this strategy, and now he is implementing these palm and five finger strategies in Himalaya regions. If you look at in the China the conflict over Himalaya, and last year itself, right, the Chinese incursion in eastern Ladakh, the Chinese incursion in Sikkim, the Chinese the military encroachment in Bhutan and Nepal, and as well as the Chinese claim the entire Arunachal Pradesh as a part of the China. So these the Chinese strategic thinking. So this is like this Chinese strategy, what we used to call is the palm and five finger strategy, is activating in the Himalaya regions. So this is a serious implication to India's national security.
Okay, Tsewang, before we wind up our discussion, I would like to ask you a question on China's aggression across the Himalaya. So why do you think China's aggression across the Himalaya is intolerable to India's national security?
Yes, like the China's expansionist policy is one thing. The moreover, like under the as I mentioned before, right, under the Xi Jinping, so Xi Jinping activating the the Chinese strategic thinking to Himalaya and South Asia. So, and we also discussed about like how India has spent in terms of military budget to secure India's northern frontiers, or you can say the northern border, right? So these things, like it's intolerable to India. Therefore, like so from India, because China never changed, and under the Xi Jinping, the China's expansion policy is right now is happening, is coming to Himalaya and South Asia. So my the understanding, my understanding is that India has to change, or India has to revisit India's the Tibet policy. In this context, so the best resolution is that we have to create the Tibet as a zone of peace. Actually, the making Tibet the zone of peace is the ultimate solution to end the Indo-China conflict. It is a win-win resolution.
Okay, Tsewang, with this we are going to end our discussion here. I would like to thank you for joining our program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.